do what I could do. And one of those early phases of my business where we as entrepreneurs in the neighborhood were invited to the police station to do a talk on drugs because the police wanted to inform the local entrepreneurs and get the help of the local entrepreneurs regards to the drug situation, what they were doing, how they were approaching the problem, and also to use the entrepreneurs as a form of information to see how they could best combat the situation. So because of the sensitivity of the situation, the police also made it possible for people to write anonymous notes. So on my anonymous note, I had written that I know absolutely nothing about drugs. So one of the policemen read out this note to my embarrassment and asked who that person was, to which, of course, I was unable to or did not have the confidence to own up to. And so I never did own up. And as a result, I actually did get to a situation in my pub where I had a drug problem. And I later then had to solicit the help of the police to solve my drug problem. And Dutch law is such that if the drugs are found on that premises, the owner or the proprietor is held accountable. So it really was my problem. And that is one of hundreds of examples that I could have made my life a lot easier by just owning up to the situation or asking for help or being confident enough to say that I don't know or to ask for help in any form or fashion. So I would like to take you through an example. I'm going to just share my screen with you, and then I'd like to take you through let me see this one. There we go, very good. So if you would for a moment just think of a situation in which you were lacking in confidence, something you had to learn for the first time, or an interview that you were very nervous about, or something you did for the very first time, think of how that felt for you. If you take a moment just to consider what your body language was like, how your facial expressions were, consider how your breathing was and how that sat in your body. Okay, if you have a clear picture of how that felt, just let it go. Okay, these are some of the, we just practiced the slideshow. Okay, yes. So these are some of the symptoms that you could have if you lack of self-confidence. So self-doubt is obviously a big one. Distrust, obviously because you don't trust yourself. Diffidence, which I had to look up, which really is shyness. Faithlessness, inadequacy, really just feeling less. Uncertainty, and that is really what I experienced as an entrepreneur, just not knowing whether I was making the right decision because I didn't have the confidence. Lacking confidence in themselves. Disbelief, so also a lack of courage. So yeah, you might have a decision but not have the follow through. A worry, of course, comes up a lot with that. Yeah, timidity or shyness again. Poor self-image. So yeah, lack of being able to promote yourself or feel good about yourself. Insecurity, confusion. Yes, it's also, if you don't trust your own opinion, then you might be confused about the decision you choose to make or not make. Lack of self-worth. Doubtful and indecisive. Ambiguity, yeah, you got it anyway. So before we go on to what is confidence, I would like to just take you through a very, very short breathing exercise and then think of a different situation, and I'll talk you through it. So if you put yourself in a comfortable position, that would be easiest with your feet just flat on the ground. and hands relaxed. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes, but it's not necessary. And we're going to do a small breathing exercise, in for the count of 4 and out for the count of 4. And then I'll just talk you through it and I'll let you know when it's done. So if you start with an out breath and in for the count of 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and continue. And I'll just talk you through. Now, if you think of a situation in which you are very confident, think of how that situation, feel that situation, think of how your breathing was. Think about how your posture was, how your body felt. Think of the facial muscles. Think of the gaze of your eyes, how that sits in your body. Okay, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And you, to return to normal breathing or relaxed breathing. So, confidence is from the Latin word to trust. And having confidence is trusting oneself, belief in what you're capable of doing, and in people and your plans and in your thinking and just your general way of life. So the easiest way to practice confidence is to apply the triad, which I will talk through. So if you think of the examples that we went through with the lack of confidence and with confidence, that you should notice in your body that the lack of confidence, you tend to have a downward gaze, you tend to be hunched shoulders, you tend to have a discomfort in your gut or in your body from uncertainty. And your breathing will be shallow. If even without the breathing exercise, your breathing could be shallow. And then with the confident feeling, you tend to have an upward gaze, you tend to have focused eyes, you tend to have your shoulders back, you tend to have a relaxed sense of breathing. And so it is almost impossible to, let's say, learn to fly a helicopter and go do that the first time and do so confidently, because you haven't done it before. So how could you now possibly go and do that confidently? In actual fact, I'll go as far as to say that if you would be confident to fly the helicopter the first time, I would call that arrogance and not confidence. So now you need to get to a stage where you say, okay, it's not about me that I can now confidently go and fly the helicopter. It's about convincing myself that I'm capable of learning to fly the helicopter. So now you have to focus your mind thinking about, what have I done in the past, or what am I capable of doing to make it possible for me to actually get to this step, so that when you get to approaching flying the helicopter or driving a car or whatever it is, you've already got the basics under your belt. So making the learning easier and making the process easier and getting to a quicker, better result at the end. So these three things, language and meaning, physiology and focus. For me, physiology is the first. And that is like the easiest way to trick your body and your mind into doing something that you've not done before, or to have the confidence. So it's really about having your posture and your gaze and your body in the correct position. So if, for example, you want to go for a new interview for the first time, before you go there, you might want to just do some up and down jumping. You might want to stand with your shoulders back in front of a mirror just to see your confident self. And then the focus is not what I can't do, but on what I can do. So it's not like, oh, I've never driven a car before, I won't be able to drive this car, I don't know where the clutch is. But the focus then becomes like, okay, so how do I drive this car? What is the most essential things for me to be able to do? What is my focus? What is my outcome? In which direction am I heading? And then the language and the meaning that you attach to that new thing or that situation. So languages could be like, oh, I'm a dick, or I really can't do this, or I'm really stupid, I don't know what I'm doing, to like, yes, I can do this. I am capable. I'm proven myself time and time again that I'm good at learning, that I'm adaptable, that I can be focused. And then you apply that before you go into the new situation to help you gain the confidence you need to do something new. So these are some of the discussion points that we should really become aware of. And negative self-talk. So unfortunately, human trait is that 70% of our language is negative. Of that 70%, 80% is repetitive. So you're not going to get away from it, but it really is handy to become aware of it. Okay, so reframe negative self-talk, and of course being more aware will help you to reframe it. Some of the ways to do so is journaling. So you could, for example, write your negative thoughts for a week or two to become aware of which is the ones that are repetitive and which is the ones that you really need to work on. But you could, which is currently what I'm doing, is write a success journal every night before going to bed. And then I write down five things that I did that day that I'm proud of. So as little as I took a 10-minute break with a cup of tea, or I went for a walk, or I really went out and reached a whole bunch of people, or whatever it is, but just for yourself, those 5 things that really just make you feel good about what you did that day, because our thinking is generally negative. You can write gratitude journals as well. Brainstorming. So if you have a particular problem in which you're lacking confidence, so you could write down what it is, and you could brainstorm around that and brainstorm around ideas about how to break out of that, and mind mapping would fit into that as well. To be aware that you are not your thoughts. So sometimes we do this in yoga, that you just feel the thought going past as if it were a cloud. And you don't lean into it, you don't go try to hide away from it, you're just aware of it, that it's there, and you don't have to do anything with it. Forgiveness, yeah, that's a big one. So basically, you know, the forgiveness of somebody else is not about the other person, but about the resentment and the hate and the feelings that you have within yourself. And forgiveness will lighten your load and have a more positive outlook on life. Lots of different breath work. Yoga does some. There's some for falling asleep. There's some for just relaxing, like this 4 in, 4 out is a very easy way just to land and be in the moment. There's a couple that you can use to energize you. So what I'm really trying to just do here is to give you a whole bunch of information so that you can choose 3 or 4 things that are really applicable to you, that you think that you could apply on a regular basis, or that you could say when you find yourself in that place of low self-esteem or lacking confidence, that you can say, oh yeah, those were a couple of tips that I can use, and I can just go out and do them, and that'll just help me to put myself in a better frame of mind. Affirmations are like things you say to yourself on a regular basis to remind yourself of your self-worth. So for example, I could say, I do say, I am more than enough, or I love my life and I'm so blessed. That's another one that I use regularly. So gratitude, definitely. They say you can't be angry and grateful at the same time. So if you get yourself in a state of anger, perhaps then try seek something that you're really grateful for and see if you can do them at the same time. I doubt that it would be possible. Mirror work. So I think Louise Hayes does a lot of mirror work. And this is not something I would do if you've never done it before, just before an interview or something important that you want to do, because it can be very emotional. So if you go to the mirror and you've not done it before, and you look yourself in the eye and you say, I love you unconditionally, and you've not done that before, you could get really emotional and have a bit of a breakdown. So because it's really, we don't always value ourselves, and it's really hard for us to to give ourselves that gift. And more. Sticky notes on the mirror. So I've done that also in the past, that written on the mirror, I am more than enough. Why I love you unconditionally. And that just as a reminder, especially if you're going through a bad patch, that's really helpful. Like, you know, you just had a breakup or you're not feeling very good about yourself. You can just write this on a couple of places in your house, just to remind yourself of your words or your affirmations. Yoga helps me. It's not for all, but I really like yoga, and I like the way my body feels doing yoga. Exercise. Now that's the number one. The endomorphins, I always have to think about pronouncing that word correctly, but they are present with exercise, and that's like the quickest way to get self-confidence, to feel a natural high, and it's hormonal, and you get them for nothing by just doing a bit of exercise. Watching funny movies, always, especially when you're down, great to get yourself out of your own negative mindset. Meditation, of course, we all know that one. That really helps. Of course, there are apps and all sorts of things. I have a gratitude journal as an app, and I have a meditation as an app. So really very easy things. I myself have a coach when it comes to sharing your load, but it's also just a friend or somebody, a dear one, when things are really tough for you, just to share your load. It will help to see that that it's really not as difficult or as bad as you perceive it to be by just sharing your load. Music and dance, of course. Mantras, pretty much similar to affirmations, except like mantras is more like the spiritual kind of things. Om is one of them, but there are several others. So that, yeah, and I don't say this jokingly, but get a new environment or make friends or different friends. There are sometimes people in your life that are just toxic, and you would be fighting yourself solely to get out of your mental state if you're in a toxic environment. You really, it's really just easier to uplift yourself if you don't have somebody else constantly bringing you down. Okay, resources and more. This is just anything that you feel that you could use. And once again, these are just my opinions and my advice and things that have worked well for me in the past. So just whatever you feel that will help you to get to a better, confident self. So the elastic band NLP. So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. I did something years ago on this, and that was actually interesting. That I did a 21-day challenge of not complaining, and then I had elastic band, and every time I complained, I had to snap myself very hard to remind myself not to complain. But they also use the positive version, where they call it an anchor, where you make a connection with your fingers or something, and have a positive affirmation with that, or a positive thing, so that when you're in a difficult situation, you remind yourself of that, and you do your movement, and that will remind you to change your mindset. Okay, and these are some of the books. I've done some Louise Hayes in the past, which also does some mirror work. Then Marissa Peers, but there are many books and other resources available. And I'm going to give you a little bit of homework. The homework I'm going to give you will be sent to you on an email, so that you don't have to write these things down now. But the homework would really help you to focus your mind before you do something really difficult. And as you see, it's really all about yourself. And I made a point of making things to appreciate it. I made that 50 on conscientiously, because I really want you to get the sense of how good your life really is. And you know, and that could really just be as simple as having a roof over your head. We can be grateful for that, and for clean air to breathe, and there are so many things that we can be grateful for. But these lists, if you could do that in your own time as homework, and use that for challenging situations or as a frequent reminder, this will really help you, because boosting your confidence is about having the ability to do something new with high self-esteem and making it easier for yourself in the future. So Jane will be bringing us out into breakout rooms just now. And these questions, the first round, the questions is, if I were more confident, name a few things that you would do or achieve if you had more confidence. So in your breakout rooms, if you could discuss that amongst yourselves. And I think Jane is going to be doing that. And then we will be getting back to me shortly.
Yeah. I'm going to put you all into breakout rooms now. Oh. And press go, I think. I'll send a message. Okay. Broadcast. Okay.
Is this our breakout room then, or are we? Oh. Hi.
I think so. I've
You're
never
on
done it
mute.
before, so I hope there will be a.
You're on mute, Jane.
I was just going to say,
Sorry, I can see everybody is waiting to join rooms. So hang on.
Okay.
Karen, so how do I get them in now? Add people. God. Oh, you're okay. I'm gonna have to get some help. Hang on a minute, because it's gone on.
I seem to have been alone in room number 4, so I can.
I was trying to move you into room number 5, and then you disappeared. So that doesn't help. Just a second.
Okay.
I need to. Move to 5. This is really weird because assign to 5. I can't see all the names. That's a trouble. It's not moving. I'm really sorry I can't get you into a room. Just a second. Oh, so that's that. Somehow I'm going to move Karen to there. And this one too. Karen?
Yes.
Have you got a message to ask you to join breakout room 2?
No, I did 4 and I was alone, so I came back, but now I don't see anything.
Because I've put you into room 2. And Marika as well, you're actually supposed to be in room 5, but I can't see why you're not accepted in it.
I think I was somewhere and then the window opened again. So maybe it was also my fault that I pressed something
No,
wrong.
don't worry about it being your fault, but I just don't know why. Because Karen, I'm going to put you in a different room again.
Okay.
And it should
Beat me up, Scotty.
see if you're going into room 5. And Marika, I'm going to try and put you in room 2.
Yeah.
Can you accept that?
Should there be a pop-up somewhere, right? But I don't see something.
I didn't
I
get
don't know
anything.
why it's. I'm really sorry. I don't know why.
Oh, I can. There it says like I found one button. It says breakout room. Enter breakout room.
Yes, please press that then. Yeah.
2. It says.
Yeah. And Karen, can you see on the bottom? Can you see a breakout room button? It should be breakout room
now
5.
I'll join it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. It's really weird.
Yay.
I don't know why they didn't go in. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm so glad I don't have to do that.
So now I don't know how long we've been in.
Yeah, I think it like 6 minutes already.
Yeah, I'll send a message.
How did it go, Yolanda?
What do you mean?
How did I go? How was it?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah?
I thought it was really nice, actually. We had a couple of questions in the chat.
I see the brainstorming one is the most frequent. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that can be something we address later.
After the second breakout room or in between?
After the second breakout room. So Yolanda, if I'm going to send a message into the breakout rooms to say, what time is it now? Let me see, 14:07. I'll say you're about halfway through, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, sorry about the whole thing with the breakout rooms. It was really stressful because I couldn't.
I saw that, yeah.
I couldn't make them. I'd put them in places, but they weren't accepting the thing,
Yeah, no.
and they weren't going automatic. So it's really weird.
That's a different button. That's what I learned yesterday in the thing, that there's a button that says that you've got you can either have an extra button where they have to press it themselves, or you can make them go in automatically. It's one of the options you can tick. Maybe that one was ticked and then they had to get the button.
Okay. I didn't have such a thorough training as you did, Yolanda. Now, the only thing is, I don't know how, because it's been such a mess, this whole thing. I haven't been able to say, oh, these are the people in these rooms, and I'm going to assign you the next room. And I have to give you the question, which I had, and that was the other thing. People were sending me messages and I couldn't send.
Speaking of questions, do you have the next one ready or must I go look it up?
No, I'm just about to give it to Yolanda in the chat, and then hang on a minute. Okay, so the next question is this one, but what I don't know, I don't want to make a mistake on, if I bring them back, if I make you a host before I bring them back, are you still in control? That'll be all right, will it?
I think it should be fine, but yeah, I really don't know. I'm not.
We'll give them a bit longer. Hang on a minute. Yes, it's all very complicated. It was easier the last time I did this, but I think we only had like 12 people in 3 rooms. So this was a bigger.
So the besides the volunteers, most of these people are unemployed?
I think so. We're getting the same people more or less every week, and a lot of them are unemployed from what I know from the stories.
Could do the brainstorming on being jobless.
That's a good topic.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm going to make Yolanda host.
So now I know everything about drugs if you want to ask me anything.
It's funny that, and I was busy trying, I just thought it was such a good thing, and I was trying to sort out the breakout rooms at the time you were talking. So, but it was good. So I can't see the breakout rooms now, so I'm assuming they're still working.
I've got the breakout rooms here, yes.
You could send a message like 3 minutes to go or something. And also, Michelle, I thought your timing was really good for the presentation, because it did do that 30 minutes, you know, and
I think from the very limited experience I have, that this form is a lot easier for me, this online, because I don't, although I did practice, I don't have to memorize everything. And so I mean, I obviously practice, but I don't have to know all the sentences, because the first one, I think I like forgot half my material, and then I was so worried about my pace and everything. And so this, for me, feels more comfortable.
Your presentation is in front of you when you're doing it. So it's not like you're just reading a script, but it's really in front of you. So it makes it much easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Are they going straight from this breakout room into a different breakout room?
You could, shall we do that? And you could say, you could broadcast a message like, I'm going to move you into a new breakout room now. Get ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing is that I'll have to close all the rooms and then make a new breakout room, because I can't reassign them now, I think. Or I suppose I can move them all separately.
I think there's something in options, but you probably know more about me. You're fresher than me on this.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring them all to the main room and say, we're going to reassign you for the second question.
All right, well, what if I bring them back to the main room and then you say, we're going to reassign you and everything with the question they have to do, and while you're saying that, I'll make new rooms.
Okay, that's a good idea. All right.
Is it fine for me to pop off and get a cup of tea, or should I rather wait?
You can have a cup of tea, Pet.
Okay.
We'll just be stressed here in our house.
Okay. you got your question ready? So I'll see you just now.
Okay. Okay. What? Oh God, I've forgotten the question now. Hang on a minute.
It's
Um,
relate
how you-
story of a time you did something with confidence and how you felt achieving it.
Yeah, I'll just keep that on the screen with me. All right, then. That's good.
All right. But usually they have there's a timer going off, right? In the breakout
I
rooms.
think I didn't set that properly.
Right. Okay. I'll broadcast a message.
You just feel like so calm compared to me. I am completely stressed.
Right. Close them. Oh, there. Okay. There's a 60-second.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
Because they've got to have time to finish off the question, the answer. The problem, oh, they're coming back. Oh no, it's Michelle. There, people are coming back. Okay, some of the rooms are back now. I just want to apologize to the ones who had a slight problem joining the different rooms before, but Yolanda's going to reassign you into new rooms for the next question. And the next question is, think about a short story of a time you did something with confidence and how you felt achieving it. We'll put that in a broadcast message as well, so you don't have to memorize it. And hopefully the breakout rooms will work better than the last time.
I'm just moving you around. 1 second. It just needs to try and put you in different breakout rooms this time.
Okay, so I got cut off of what Jane was saying. So we're going into new breakout rooms?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a new question.
And I'll tell you the question, but it's going to go in the broadcast message as well. The question is, think about and tell a short story of a time you did something with confidence and how you felt achieving it.
All right. We're going to go into the rooms now, I think.
They're disappearing. Jeez. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Can you have you broadcast the message as well?
I am.
Yay.
Has it been broadcasted?
Yeah.
Good. I can't see what's been broadcasted, so once it's
Yeah,
out.
no, it's really weird, isn't it? It's like you sort of, or you're host and you're doing certain things, but you can't see other things. Or you're
Yeah.
not host and you can see the messages, but you can't do anything else.
Yeah. How long are they supposed to be in this breakout room?
15 minutes again. So we'll try and time it a bit better this time. So oops, let's see. 18, that's, I don't know. I'm getting confused. So if it's 15 minutes, it's going to be like 25 past. No, 30 minutes, 35 minutes past would be the end. And then there's question and answers. Well, we do the...
Doesn't that go automatically, surely, the timer?
It does if you click the right button.
I mean, you know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I haven't done it before, so...
No. Maybe you could put a broadcast message, this breakout room is 15 minutes or something.
You did that already.
Oh, sorry, did I miss that bit? Sorry. And once you do the broadcast, it doesn't stay there, so it disappears again. So does it go in? It doesn't go in the chat either. Yeah, it's in the chat in the room, but it's not like on the main thing.
No.
But never mind. God.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know, but people keep saying my sound's really bad, and I don't know why.
But that was actually that's what I also thought interesting, because when we were just the three of us, it was totally fine. But the minute you spoke with the whole group, then the sound was bad.
Yeah, and I'm looking and I'm trying to see what I've got up, you know. Open the different things. And then because people were sending me messages going, "Your sound's really bad, I can't hear you, you're breaking up." I'm getting all these messages in the chat. And it's like, this is not helping.
I left my phone downstairs on purpose.
Yeah, but they were sending me messages in the chat, but privately.
Yeah.
So I could see these messages coming in, like, Andres is really, like, on the ball, like, the light's wrong, your sound's bad, the this, the that. He's always doing that. So he does it all the time. So it's like you're constantly being criticized, and it's like,
Oh.
not helping. Never mind. That looks like a really nice cup of tea.
Yeah, it's lovely. Real. I got PGs because sometimes you can find them at the Indian toko. And so I ran out of my South African tea bags, and so I went and found these in Amstelveen at the Indian. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
I don't know if you're funny about your tea or not.
Well, I brought some English tea back from England. This is the last time I was there at Christmas. And I'm still using that. And then I like different teas. But, yeah. Is Ezra still there?
Yeah, I think he's in a breakout room
Okay, good.
with Andres and Baran.
With Andres and who?
Baran, not sure.
Baran. I don't know who Baran is.
Does it turn up okay, or is it less than expected, or?
There's people a couple of people have dropped out because they listened to your presentation and then didn't stay for the discussion. But I mean, there was 22 when I was setting up the first room. There was 22, but 2 of them were you two, so obviously there was 20 in the rooms.
How many do we usually get?
Round about the same. Now, I mean, there was like 29 people had signed up, so it's good, actually.
Yeah, on my end, I made a mistake because I didn't promote it on my Facebook or anything, and I literally only thought of it yesterday. So I then went looking for the banner or the whatever yesterday to go and put. So I only put it on my Facebook last night.
No, I saw it was on your Facebook, but I think that, you know, okay, it's good for you if it gives you visibility, but this is another platform anyway, so you get visibility here. And this is going to be the recording, as long as we're still recording it, but as long as we're recording it. Oh, we should have switched off the recording then. Casting away.
I'll have to do some cutting.
Yeah. We'll try and figure it out. Where does the recording go?
YouTube.
Right.
But we only put Michelle's piece on. We only put the presentation.
I only used one swear word, I think.
Oh,
I'll stop the
I
record.
didn't even realize actually.
I used the word dick once.
Oh, I didn't even, it just went past me.
Okay.
Yo, if you're host, can you actually stop the recording? Just,
Yeah.